We're gonna do a review on Dell. It's a Dell 5400 AIO series, and we're gonna take a look at it and see what you get. So excuse my lighting is real close to it, but this is the best lighting I have in here in this room. So we have ourselves a speaker, a long set of speakers right here. Not the greatest speakers, but it does the job for, this is kind of like a, more like a personal game and not a gaming system, work, office, student, all based in that, but gaming is not for that. So just to let you guys know, this is only for those kind of specific area. If you're going to be working as an accountant, internet surfing, maybe some online gamings, like, you know, online games that they have for that don't require a lot of GPU power, this is probably one of this. Home, if you're going to be working from home, another item to use. Now they have different series on it, okay, and one of them is an i5 and an i7, and then higher versions, of course. Depending on the model you purchase on Costco, there's two models at Costco. Depends how much memory and also the CPU, right? And the GPU is, of course, an Intel, which is an Iris. So trying to get into the market, but unfortunately, they're still behind a lot of these big dogs right here. So we have the monitor. It's a long monitor. I'm gonna put the specs on how long we have the monitor for, and then there's nothing on the side, guys, nothing. And look at the thinness. And this is pretty much, let me see if you guys can see a better view of how it is. And this is a side angle of it. It's about 2 inches, all right, because I'm measuring 2 inches. It's about 2 inches, and it kind of ovals out a little bit, 2.5, I would say, but thickness is there. Bending down, if you guys can see it, not that much of a space. If you can see, it kind of curves down, and you know, you can't really do it like a flat, like the Surface one. You know, they have a Microsoft Surface that you can actually bend it down even more to a higher degree. This one you can't. One power adapter, just that's all you need. It does come with built-in Bluetooth and wireless. We have that built in. It has USBs, of course, as you can see on the side of it, but I'm not really impressed with the size of the whole thing. All right, let's go take a look at the back of the Inspiron 5400 AIO series. All right, we're gonna start in here, and I put some lighting here so you guys can see it. So we're gonna start with here. Right now, I have 2 USBs right now, because one's for the actual keyboard, and the other one's just a cap. That's pretty much it is. You could take this off anytime you want, or you could have this as a USB or other stuff too. So we'll put that in there right now. We have, this is an audio output right here, because this has speakers. We're gonna start on the right first. So we have our SD card reader, if you guys can see that. And this is for all your photographers or anybody who wants to transfer stuff. This is one way. Audio out, your audio input, and let me see how many. Oh, you get 3.0, if you guys can see it, and then in 1A version, you get your NIC card here. Your RJ45 connection goes in here. You get a Type C connection, if you guys can see it, and then you have 2 HDMI for 2 separate monitors, and of course your power. And if you're gonna leave this in a job site somewhere, it comes with a lock addition here too. So nice little setup you have in here. It's all base plastic. It looks metal, but it looks like more like a Latitude kind of thing. The Dell logo is a little mirror edge. It's all plastic. If you guys can see all this right here, pretty much that's how it lines up. I'm going to cover some of the information on here. It does have a little kickstand. It folds out. We're going to show it right now. It folds out, of course, and if you guys can see that, side, nothing on the other side. We have it clear. We still have some plastic here, of course, but it does the job. If you're going to be working from home, this is probably something that you don't have the space to set up another desktop or something. This is probably the best thing to do. Now, the best thing about this part, if you guys can see, I'm going to show you guys here. Look at the top. Camera built in. It's based in on the top. If you guys can see, this is a push of a button. That's it. Your camera, face recognition, your video chats. Now let's go ahead and do a video camera recording and see if the audio is pretty good. It captures a lot of stuff. So this camera is not 1080. It's actually 720. All right. So just to be aware that this is not the highest capacity. It's not HD either. It's pretty simple. And if you don't want anybody to see, you just push the button of the actual camera, put it down. But that's pretty much it. I mean, the camera quality, it's just basic, the same as any other laptop. So talk about the parts that it comes with. It does come with a mouse. All right. The mouse is really smooth. It's battery wise, off and on button. It's a cheap making, you know, any kind of mouse is the same. There's a 2-digit button. No inputs on here at all, but the roller is the only thing that works, right? That's part of it. Most of the times they used to have a feature where you used to click here to change the speeds and stuff like that. They don't no more. This is a basic cheap mouse, of course. It's not a Bluetooth, it's a USB. On top of that, they give you a keyboard. Now the keyboard is probably the worst thing of this monitor. The keys keep locking in. It's really loud. Cheap keyboard. I would recommend you replacing the keyboard. It's probably one of the worst keyboards that I've seen on any kind of model because of the keys keep. If you guys can see it, it's not fine made. There's some little cranos right now, some little craps that is stuck in there, and the keyboards easily get jammed in there. Anything, dust particle, dust bunnies. The keys are not fine shine or anything like that. There still has some plastic on the corners that gets stuck in there. This is probably the worst thing that the system can come with right now. We're gonna go ahead and turn it on and see what you guys think about it. The buttons are underneath the actual speaker. If you guys could know, there's a reset button and there's an on button. We're gonna go ahead and hit the on button here, and the reset's right here. If you guys can see it, it's kind of, it's hidden, all right? So we're gonna hit the on button, and it should be on. You can see the lighting on this. This is a face recognition. Of course, it's not recognizing me right now. I just recognized my sister right behind me because this is her machine. But this is pretty much the system. Mouse. You do need some sort of a mouse pad on it. So let's go ahead and check out the speeds and everything else. So we are on Gen 11th in the Intel i5. Like I said, they have different models, different brands. 2.4 hertz, all right, and it's RAM, base install RAM. Now unfortunately you cannot update this, so make sure you get the highest RAM you can. Anything above 8 is better. So this is 12. Of course, we could have gone 16 and so forth, but unfortunately you can't upgrade this system. It's everything's locked pretty tight in there, and the only way is probably breaking some of the components. Don't recommend anybody to open it up, or you're gonna avoid the warranty. When you buy the machine, it comes with the space that's available right now. Let's go ahead. It's about 250 gigs of space, all right, and then they give you another terabyte. So this is an M.2 NVMe drive, if you guys can see it. Okay, under systems, you got an NVMe hard drive, which is 250, and then you do get a terabyte. They do give you the terabyte of the 1 gig. They give you 1 gig terabyte. All right, if you guys can see, 1 terabyte of the mechanical drive, meaning this is an actual moving component. It's a laptop drive. It's a small 2.5 size. SATA drive. It's not a solid state. It's an actual mechanical drive. So this is more it causes heat, more energy. So just be aware that if you're going to start saving a lot of valid data, you might have issues in the future. Now this one, they give you a 250 gig NVMe. It's a drive too. They're both could be encrypted with BitLocker if you want. So if you guys are going to buy something like this, the only thing I recommend you guys is make sure you get the maximum memory. If you can, buy the i7 or anything higher, because the i5 is more like a lower end of the actual Intel. It's still in the 11th generation. It's still quick as one of these fast machines. But there's a couple of things I would suggest. If you're going to use this for your personal use, make sure you have enough cloud space so you can start saving things, because if you start saving stuff on your majority of your first drive, which is an NVMe, and you don't get too much space, you're going to overflow that thing, and you're gonna have to delete stuff, right? So just make sure that you start saving maybe on your mechanical drive some of the stuff too. Now on the mechanical drive, you can start saving a lot more things in there. You have 1 terabyte of space in there. Some of these drives are funny because they give you the larger one is a mechanical drive, and the smaller one will be the NVMe. But that's pretty much basic. But if you can, buy the 2 terabytes. But the more stuff you have, the larger stuff the hard drive you have, the harder it is to back up these things. Now, when you put BitLocker on them, it makes it a lot difficult for anybody to recover the stuff. So just be aware that you have the key somewhere, either save on a USB or maybe email it to yourself or somewhere there. The camera, if you guys can see, the quality was okay. It's 720. It's not an HD 1080. So other than that, if you guys have any questions or any comments, let me know. I'm your host, Frank the Tank, and we're out.